The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago, for we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day.
Hollywood is modern-day Babylon, Denver health inspectors are assholes, and Dan Schneider, Nickelodeon executive, impregnates Amanda Bynes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are blapping, we are guamming, we are happy to be here. Thank you for joining us. Chat, what's up, chat? Good to see you. Before we get into all of that, a little bit of business up front. Before we start blapping, maybe you guys want to know where you can support us. Patreon.com/Nephilim Death Squad is a great place to support the boys. You get early access to episodes, ad-free viewing and listening experiences. You get to engage in the live chat. So when we go live past the half an hour mark on a show, you guys get to hang out and continue chatting it up with us. And we have a lot of fun with the live chat. So go and check us out over at Patreon. Also, first dibs on tickets from Bohemian Grove or to Bohemian Grove. That'll be happening first week of March. Friday and Saturday in March. All right, so that'll be a lot of fun. And the Patreon members are going to get first dibs on the VIP tickets. And we'll be doing it here where I'm broadcasting from live, the Standard Coffee Shop /NDS Studios. It's very official, guys. Very official. Maybe I could talk about that a little bit before we go any further. I guess also a great place to support me. At the bottom, you'll see there, if you want to support me directly, you can go to Cash App, you can go to Venmo, you can go to PayPal. You'll find me at David Corbo7 on all those platforms. Cash App's a little bit weird. You got to put a $, then David Corbo7. So we've been talking a lot. We got this huge donation, which I don't even know who from. It's all very mysterious. I think Matt knows. He just likes playing mystery games. But we had a donor send $3,000 our way. And specifically, he donated those $3,000 because he derives a lot of value from the straight Bible series that we do with Matt Hepner here out of the Standard Coffee Shop. And being that was the spirit of the donation, and also that he wanted more of that type of content, which we're happy to offer that type of content. I think it's great. I think the Dangerous Retards need that sort of thing. So we're doing Bible studies. We're also doing the solo straight Bible with Matt. We decided that money is going straight into expanding the operation here. So it's going into, kind of boring stuff that you guys aren't interested in, like advertising, but what it's really going into is the entire back of house, which some of you guys know, it is a Christian library here at the Standard Coffee Shop in the back. So you've got the studio, you've also got this library. We're going to expand all the way into the library. And I don't know what that means for the general public. I'm pretty sure the doors are still going to be open to the general public. If I have it my way, I'd like for them to be able to come and go whenever they'd like. But we're going to decorate. We're going to create all these different angles, all these different shots. We're going to have cameras. We're going to have lights. And we are doing a full-on back of house NDS Studios. Really something that I wouldn't have imagined was going to take place. I mean, to even have this room was something that I didn't think was going to take place. And it all happened so quickly. But now we've already bled out of the room. You guys can't see it because I can't spin the camera. I tried that one time. It didn't really work to see what we've done. But if you look at the Instagram and you look at Twitter and things like that, you might have seen the way that we decorated this other room on the other side of these double doors here. And now we're going all the way to the back. So I just think that's really cool. I wanted to tell you guys because I'm excited about it. It's going to be happening very soon. By the time this VIP experience happens for Bohemian Grove, when you guys show up to this, and that day is going to be really cool. It's going to be a long day. We'll get some food. We'll get it catered. We'll have somebody running the coffee end so we can get drinks and everything. We'll do a live Bible study. Ed Mabry will be here along with Matt Hepner. We'll leave the doors open. We'll record it live. There'll be TV streaming it to the rest of the building so you guys will be able to see. And then we're just going to hang out. We're going to hang out. I'm thinking I'm even going to bring my son by because he really wants to see what Dad does. And I figure the VIP members are cool enough that I won't have to worry about what sort of insanity you guys are going to expose my 10-year-old to. But I want him to see what Dad does. I want him to understand what kind of an impact and what kind of a community we've built. So, yeah, I'm going to bring my family. Maybe Top will bring his family. I don't know. We haven't really talked about it. It's just something that I've been thinking about lately. And we're all just going to hang out. We'll hang out in this Christian library. We'll talk. We'll eat. We'll drink. And then the next day, we'll have the big performances. And I think we'll even have a morning meetup at the coffee shop again before the big performance is over at the Joke Joint, and we'll get some breakfast together and we'll hang out. But yeah, man, so this whole place is going to look really cool. Thank you to the people who have been supporting us, who have been donating. We got a lot of donations, a few $1,000s very rapidly in donations for the development of this place, as well as Bibles. I'm looking at the stand where Ginger with a hard R donated 60 Bibles. My guy, there's one left. There's one left. We did a good job. 59 of them found a home. There's one sitting on that table right there. So really cool. I just think it's amazing what's going on here. Anywho, guys, I'm excited to get into this content. That's going to be a lot of fun. What's going on with the chat, though? Let's have a gander over here. Breakfast at Joketown, USA. Yeah, exactly. Some of you guys, did you see? Laney said, can we get baptized by Sam Hyde? Dude, Laney, I need your help because I have to cut a promo from the last Bohemian Grove footage to give to Sam Hyde's team so he knows what he's getting into. They want that. That's right, guys. I am in talk with Sam Hyde's team to try to get him to be the headliner. Who knows what's going on? But I need to send you a bunch of stuff, Laney, and see if we can cut a 3-minute promo and send them. It's just that I have accumulatively like 60 hours of content from last Bohemian Grove that I've not done anything with, and it's completely insane. But I'm not a documentarian. I'm just an asshole with a microphone. So, man, yeah, big things. Hollywood Babylon Misfits. What's going on, guys? How is everybody? Are we blapping? Are we guamming tonight? Is everybody having a good time? Better wash your hands. I suppose if I'm going to have you guys in studio, I might do that. I'm calling Matt tomorrow to tell him, Raven. What's that? To tell him what, Madeline? To tell him what? Let me scroll through the thing. Don't let your son around Meat Cavern. That's horrifying. Stop touching the book with your pee-pee hands. The books are in no jeopardy, Madeline. I can't read, and so, the truth be told, not a single one of these have been fingered by me and my pee-pee hands. Guys, are we excited about this? I mean, this is going to be, when is Bohemian Grove from Real TopLobsta? Shout out to Real TopLobsta on X. When is Bohemian Grove? Bohemian Grove is going to be the first Friday and Saturday of March. Like I said, Friday is the exclusive VIP day. We're going to do a little bit, but not heavy in the way of performances. I just want to hang out with the community. I want to meet the people who make all this possible. So that's what the first day is going to be about. We'll hang, we'll eat, and all that stuff, et cetera, et cetera. The second day is going to be, I'm hoping to run from noon to about 11 p.m. With performances and crazy shit. And we're going to have a bunch of creators there and merch stands and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right. So let's get into some of this content. Matt always looks like he knows you didn't wipe your ass enough. I do a good job of wiping my ass. All right, I have dude wipes at the house. I have been thinking about getting a bidet though, like an attachable bidet, because why not? You would never just touch poop with your hands and then just rinse it off, right? Or wipe it off rather with paper. You would obviously wash your hands, so why wouldn't you wash your butthole? I don't know. These are just things that keep me up at night. All right, so let's get into some of this content. I don't want to get straight into the meat of it, this Hollywood is modern-day Babylon concept. We have a video to go with it, and I think that's going to get a little long-winded, and we do want to kind of pace this show correctly because we want to make sure that we get to the call-in segment that I always neglect because I don't shut the hell up. But I think we're going to start with something a little bit less intense. Yeah, we'll go slow, guys, and we'll work our way up to the stuff that's gonna have me super chatty. So let's start with this. This is the Denver health inspectors who suck a monumental amount of ass, and it's really disturbing here. So here, I don't even have the right thing pulled up. Boop. All right, so this comes from Hustle Bitch, which I thought was a comedy page once upon a time, but they have been posting some heavy things. Does he have the Star of Ishtar on the crease of his elbow? Good question. No, that is a flail, a medieval flail. Not the Star of Ishtar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 points. 9 points. The Star of Ishtar is 8 points. So we dodged it there by 1. So Denver health inspector caught on video dumping bleach into a taco vendor's food without a single warning. City inspector walked up to a street vendor's table and poured a full jug of bleach into the tubs. Onions, lime, salsa, guac. Does this motherfucker know how expensive avocados are? Honestly, we'll get to it. Destroying the entire setup in seconds. No explanation, no citation, no shutdown notice. Just walk up and nuke everything. While the vendors and bystanders watched in disbelief, families were supposed to eat that food. Instead, it was soaked with chemicals by the government. By the government. If this is protocol, what happens when they decided you violate something? So let's watch the video. We'll do a little commentary on it. Like I said, we'll start with something that's not going to be too wild. Is that a Jew? Or is that just the way his hair looks? I can't tell if he's wearing a yarmulke or if he's just got that shape of head. Guys, that's a lot of food. Look, and she's not worried. She's a fat bitch. She's already got enough to eat. She's not worried about who this was going to feed. That's crazy. Look at this kind of snarky asshole. So the guy that I thought had a yarmulke, watch his face. He kind of looks like satisfied with himself. He's giving like a little smirk and a nod. Check him out. It's like, yep, yeah. Good and fucked up. Good job. Nobody's eating this shit tonight. So I don't know what the backstory here is. Maybe we can go to the comments a little bit and see if anybody has anything to say about it. But I could have sworn. Yeah, that's great. Health inspector. This is the person that inspects the health. Morbidly obese, by the way. In charge of inspecting the health. Fat clown. But I'm looking to see... While the incident, okay, looks like we got grok here. Very important analysis. The Post shares a viral TikTok video. Denver health inspector pouring bleach into an unlicensed taco vendor's food on November 15, 2025, framing it as illegal overreach, which has generated over 16,000 likes and sparked debates on government enforcement. City officials defend the action as standard procedure to denature over 100 pounds of unsafe food. It's unsafe now, bitch. You poured bleach into it. Citing violations like home kitchen preparation and improper temperatures after the vendor refused disposal with no charges. I don't know. You know what? I was gonna say something. I was thinking that this was gonna upset me in a way, and I got to admit, I'm kind of I got something else from it. And the something else is like, get out of the fucking cities. You know what I mean? Like, stop being in the city. Nephilim Death Squad. Top says this is a Christian show. We talked to Top. I mean, we talked to Matt. And Matt has given me the confidence to swear again. To swear again, because he says it's not unchristianly to swear. Madeline Brooks. Raven was going to say something? No way. Yeah. Big surprise, guys. I have an opinion on this. My opinion is get out of the cities. I thought that I was going to feel like, how dare they destroy the food? Who knows what families this was going to feed, da-da-da-da. And I'm looking at, like, the awning or the little pop-up tent from Walmart, and I'm looking at the kind of dirty sidewalk, and I hear the sirens, and I can kind of smell this video. And I go, oh, well. What a shame. This fat goblin bitch showed up to pour bleach on your food. I mean, what did you expect? If it wasn't a fat goblin health inspector of the health, it was going to be a homeless man with a knife. Was it not? It was going to be a gang of black Israelites. Was it not? I don't know. I don't think this is surprising at all. Something bad was going to happen. And I do think like there's something to be said. I'm retarded, so I go back and forth. I'm like, government overreach. Why does everything need to have so many certificates and I got to appeal to this governing body and that governing body in order to sell food under a Walmart tent? But then I think about the diarrhea that I get when I stop at like a halal food vendor in the city. Oh well. I don't know. Not much there that was going to upset me. I thought that was going to upset me more. I got to be honest. Am I the only one that feels that way? One of the things that I think Tim Pool gets right very often was like, if you're still in the city, I don't feel bad for what happens to you. That was something he was saying maybe like 3 years ago when I was listening to him. If you still live in the city, I don't feel bad for you for whatever happens. Yeah. Scott brings up a good point. We must keep health code standards with the influx of Indians. It's just really hard to keep health code standards in the city. It's disgusting. I got into an argument with somebody. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I can find it on Facebook really quickly. Because I had a buddy, he's like super into punk rock. He and I grew up together. And of course, punk rock's going to bring you to the city and particularly the gay sections of the city. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know what they call it. Some sort of village in New York City, right? And that's where all the gay stuff happens. And let's see what he said. So he goes, New York, you guys just fucked up with this one. This dude is fucking piece of trash. I'm reading. This is what he said. And I go, New York City has been a shithole forever. Fuck it. Who cares that they hired this Muslim guy that eats with his fingers? I don't care. It's a terrible place. It literally is on par. Everything makes sense. And he goes, I get it. It's not like Boston. I don't know what that means. But I'm there so much for a place that's not safe already, dude. It ain't helping. And I look at that and I go, why are you there? Why are you there at all? You don't have to be there. I know. Well, actually, I think he does have to be there. He's in the restaurant industry, and I think he's in a restaurant in Jersey City. So I think there's probably a lot of back and forth for whatever reason, I'm sure. And I said, I remember stepping over homeless bodies when I was 17. It's an experiment in how much of a liberal shithole can one place become. Hard to have sympathy for a place that constantly votes for things to get worse. The signs told me to get out of New Jersey a while ago. Right now, the signs are screaming, stay out of the cities. To which some bitch, which camera am I looking at? This is a Christian show, but apparently that's not swearing. Thanks, Matt. I'm not doing this. You guys, you can hear it right now, right? So she goes, you're so right. New York City is a very scary, apocalyptic hellhole. This is all sarcasm. It's best for you to stay and hide in the safety of your mommy's basement in the suburbs. To which I said, is it not here? That's weird. Where is it? I was wondering why she never responded. Well, basically, I said, that's strange. What the hell? I wonder if he deleted it. Can you delete other people's comments on your shit? Anyway, I said, enjoy your human feces and fentanyl overdoses, you fucking retard. I'm not brewing this. Bobby Johnson gets it. Did you guys see my really low quality meme on Patreon? Patreon member. If you're not a Patreon member, that meme was reason enough to join Patreon. Dude, guys, let me tell you something. I am very gassy, as I usually am. But when I am here with the guys, I have a lot of courtesy. I go, nah, I'm not going to let it fly. I'm letting it fly. I don't think this place is going to air out by the morning. I think there's going to be a real problem come morning time. Where's our coffee cups, David? I would like to get the coffee cups. We have a lot of stuff going on. I was having this conversation with somebody last night, another like team from another podcast, and they were surprised that we're still just a two-man team over here at NDS Studios. I mean, we're a three-man show with Matt now and his Straight Bible and things like that. But as far as the team and doing the work, it's just me and Top still. So it's hard. It's hard to do everything. all this stuff. We're hoping to have some sort of breakthrough soon. We have a plan, a master plan, and we're hoping that after the master plan is executed, we can hire somebody. We'll see. Chuck from Guam, what up, baby? Says, what about Nancy? Well, Nancy is there to be a calm and soothing voice on the episodes that she can make it to. And as of right now, that's about the only capacity that Nance fits into. I would love to get her in something that makes more sense, but we're treading water here at NDS Studios. We're keeping our heads above water. All right, so let's go on to some more content, because I don't really care about what happens in these cities. I got to be honest. I thought that I was going to, and I don't, and it's nice. It's nice to not care. So we'll go into one other thing before we get into Hollywood, and that will be the Amanda Bynes claiming that she was, and she looks great, that she was impregnated by Dan Schneider, the Nickelodeon executive, at the age of 13 years old. Which, all jokes aside, something clearly happened. Something clearly happened to Amanda Bynes. And if this is true, well, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. So here, let's bloop, bring that up real quick and share this tab instead. Okie dokie. All right, so this comes from Patriot Oasis. Get rid of this tab. Amanda Bynes posts a new video claiming Dan Schneider rapade. I just had to figure out a different way to say that for YouTube. And impregnated her when she was 13 years old. Let's listen to her looking crazy. I will say that there's not a lot of more obvious falls from grace. Amanda Bynes was a sharp kid. She was a charismatic kid. She was funny as shit. She was very funny. I mean, when if you're a millennial, I used to think the Amanda show was a very funny show when I was a kid. I used to really enjoy her appearances on All That. I enjoyed All That when I was a kid. And this is just another horrifying story of these kids. Really, the cautionary tale, never become a child star, right? I'm in no rush to let my kid get on YouTube. By the way, though, he does want to do an episode here. So I think this Saturday on the Patreon, we're going to have my son on, and we're going to ask him some silly questions and see, what kicks around in the mind of a 10-year-old. And we're just going to do that for the Patreon. I don't want to put that on YouTube or anything like that. But he wants nothing more than to do a show with Dad. And I made a promise to him a while ago now, maybe over a year and a half ago, when I said we had a dog for a little bit. And I said, this dog's not working out. We got to rehome him. And he said, that makes me really sad. And the only thing I was willing to use as a bargaining chip was doing a show with him. And I've been putting that off for a really long time because I'm a bad dad. So we're going to have him on, and he's going to be very excited. But that's a different thing. Well, I'm not handing him over to Nickelodeon executives to butt fuck him. So, just looking at her, man, this funny, charming, charismatic kid looks a mess. Well, let's let her talk for herself here. Let's boop.
Hi, welcome back to today. My special guest is the executive producer of the Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
And by the way, there's a whole documentary on this that I've watched, and it didn't go into harrowing depths, but it definitely set the stage. I forget what it's called, but if you guys are interested in hearing how deep the rabbit hole goes on this and how much of a piece of shit this guy was and how many other people had accusations against him. In fact, I think even Britney Spears' little sister, Jamie Lynn Spears, I could be wrong about that, but I think Jamie Lynn Spears has an issue with him.
Now, you're the executive producer of the show.
Yes, I'm the executive producer and the head writer.
You actually wrote the words we're saying to each other right now.
Yes, I wrote this whole conversation that we're having right now.
Since you're the executive producer.
Give me an IC. Give me an IC before since you're the executive producer.
I see.
I see now since you're the executive.
Hi, welcome to my jacuzzi. Today my special guest is the executive producer of The Amanda Show, Dan Schneider.
Hi.
Now, you're the executive producer of the show?
Yeah, I am the executive producer and I'm the head writer.
You actually wrote the words you're saying to each other right now?
Yes, I actually wrote this whole conversation that we're having right now.
I see. Now, since you're the executive producer of the show, can I have a raise?
No.
Okay. How about I play the spaghetti?
Nah.
No?
I'm kidding, I'll have some spaghetti.
Hooray!
Bring the spaghetti! All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And then dancing midgets. I thought that was going to be a lot more harrowing than what we saw here, but it is a sad message at the bottom here, because this comes from her actual TikTok page. You can see Amanda Bynes updates. I don't know if it's her page or if she made this video. It looks like she made this video because she's doing the silent. I don't know if she's pointing. Let's see. No, she's not doing any pointing. The man I got pregnant with him at the age of 13. And it's a sad thing because at the bottom it says, "I'm sorry for not making your childhood happy again." Which is weird. I wonder what kind of psychosis, you come away with being this beloved child star. Yeah, making the childhoods of other kids happy and fun. And then I guess, you really, it's an important thing to bring that kind of joy to people. And now you can't because this guy raped you and now you look like this. Ugh. Man. He said he wouldn't give her a raise. He's a Jew. Oh, I see what you did there. Drake Bell has a Dan story. That's right. Drake Bell does have a Dan story. And I think it comes up quite a bit in that documentary that I watched. And I have to admit that the timing of that documentary was interesting, given that Drake Bell was being brought up on sexual assault allegations. You know what? Let's give that a quick Google real quick. And I think so. Drake Bell sexual assault allegations. And what's really interesting is Drake Bell has been involved in two significant legal matters involving minors, two of them. One is a victim. Okay, see, there you go. Of sexual abuse by his former dialogue coach, Brian Peck. That's what comes up in the documentary. And another as a perpetrator of child endangerment and disseminating harmful material to a juvenile. That's awfully vague. And we know he's got some good lawyers, so who knows what really. As a perpetrator, Bell has faced his own legal troubles related to a minor for which he has taken responsibility incident in 2021. And that's fascinating. So the documentary, Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, that comes out in 2024. And the case where he is a perpetrator happens in 2021. And I was getting around to saying that the impression that I got from watching that documentary was like they were trying to, not to say he's not really a victim of these guys, but it was like, it felt like they were trying to bury what he had done. And maybe I'm just an asshole and everything's got to be a conspiracy theory with me. The incident in 2021, Bell pled guilty of a felony charge of attempted child endangerment. Attempted child endangerment, a felony charge of attempted. What even is that? The allegations. The victim stated Bell had sent her inappropriate social media messages for months leading up to the concert, and alleged in a victim impact statement that he had groomed her and sexually assaulted her. Although no sexual assault charges were ultimately brought against Bell because he probably settled. And he was sentenced to 2 years of probation and 200 hours of community service. Fascinating. 2 years of probation, which means that ends roughly around 2023. And then 2024, a documentary releases about his victimization of a specific sexual nature. Chat, am I looking into this too much? Do you think that that's a little sus? The timing of it all? I mean, Drake Bell has been a man for a number of years. Could have made that documentary at any time. And first he gets popped on a set. Well, it's not a sexual assault charge. It's a loosely worded. I mean, what was that even? Let's go back to it. The incident, the allegations. Pleaded guilty to a felony charge of attempted child endangerment and a misdemeanor of disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. I mean, that's a word salad, isn't it? So you groomed and tried to sexually, well, according to her, did sexually assault her, but no sexual assault charges were ultimately brought up against it because you settled for attempted child endangerment and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. That sounds a lot better than grooming and sexually assaulting a minor. I don't know, dude. That feels a lot like we got that sentence reduced to some shit that doesn't look so bad on paper, and then we came out with a documentary about how I was molested. And, certainly you were. Certainly you were. Billie Eilish has let it go completely. Yeah. Very, she looks like, a real fucked up version of Billie Eilish. I'll give you that. Thick eyebrows. It's a decision that you can tell can be stopped at any moment given that they're drawn onto her forehead, but she's adamant. Although I did hear once upon a time that the visage she insists on keeping is one to put dudes off, which I guess is one way of dealing with sexual assault. It's kind of better than the other way, which is to become hyper promiscuous, right? Like some people that are rapid will then become hyper promiscuous to take away the power of the thing that took power from them. You know what I mean? Has anyone seen the Disney movie covers redone to show the witchcraft they teach? It's hilarious. No, I would love to see that. That sounds pretty interesting, actually. Have you all heard about the bleach blonde conspiracy? Yes, I have heard about the bleach blonde conspiracy. I think it has a lot to do with trauma, and I think probably the reason that I dyed my hair like a faggot multitudes of times is because I went through a lot of trauma as a kid. Although maybe somebody molested me. I'm not too sure. But if it is, it wasn't a dude, and I don't really remember it. But I think most of my trauma just comes from like abandonment and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It means I don't care about God. The yellow hair thing? That's interesting. That's very specific. Fascinating. Well, what time is it? 36. I guess we'll get into the meat of this episode, which we're probably going to end up talking about a little bit. I have a video here. Raven was abducted like me. You were abducted? Well, I guess, yeah, I was also abducted. I don't think I was abducted. I think I just had. Well, if you talk to Fringe, after the episode when I was done talking to Fringe and I told her, hey, I've experienced a lot of these things. I didn't mention it. And she goes, yeah, you were abducted. And I said, no, I don't think I was like, she's like, no, yeah. And then she was like, and if it happened before, it's still happening now. And I was like, damn, dude, what the fuck? Why'd you say that? I don't think that's true though. All right, so let's get into, maybe we'll get into a small video first before we get into that. This is a fascinating concept. Of course, I didn't watch this video at all. I just thought that it was a cool premise, and I said, let's check that out on the show. And who do you think took your ball? Honestly, I think a large Israeli man. An Israeli. I think he was a big Jew, and I think he I didn't think much about it at the time, but I had this conversation with him about, like, I'd like to have my ball back after you take it. And he was like, sure, we'll talk about this. And then he kept it. Did he eat it? He might have eaten it. It's possible. All right, let's share this tab, share the screen, and what is that? Waken something, or it's, oh my God, it's got an onk on the thing. And here, let's go. Share this. So this comes from, do we have this on the screen yet? No. Boop. This comes from Awaken Minds, and you can tell it's legit because of the all-seeing eye, the Eye of Ra in the name. We're in the age of Aquarius. All the things will be revealed. Enjoy the show. And why I clicked on it is because of that right there. The Galapagos is the smoking crater of a fallen throne. And I said, wow, what a fascinating thing to say. I'm a big fan of the tortoises, the tortai that come from Galapagos. Galapagos Island is a fascinating island filled with all kinds of really interesting creatures. So let's do that. David was taken by a Mossad Katir. Mossad Katir. Oh, that's funny. Tortas. No, not those. Tortai. Tortuga.
You know why they keep you out of the Galapagos? Why, if you go, you're monitored 24/7. Why 98% of the
Wait. Why does this sound like you guys ever watch Breaking Bad? Remember Walter White's son, the retarded one? Why does this sound like Walter White's retarded son narrating this? Why does this guy sound like this?
You know why they keep you out of the Galapagos? Why, if you go, you're monitored 24/7. Why 98% of the islands are off limits to the public? It's because of places like...
I mean, look at all those marine iguanas. Is that really in Galapagos? The marine iguanas are one of the origin stories for Godzilla, right? It's like a marine iguana sucks on some radioactive shit at the bottom of the ocean and then pow, becomes big.
Because of places like San Cristobal Island. You know, the one named after that dog-headed Christ bearer.
Whoa, what's going on? This is getting deep, dude. We're talking about St. Christopher, the dog-headed saint, the dog man, Galapagos Islands, the Guamagos. They got a lot of lizards. Yeah, I guess so. Don't name yourself Raven's gassy colon. Dude, I am farting endlessly here, though. I switched my diet over recently because my wife has been going through it with her back pain and everything. And so I said, well, we should make an effort to reduce inflammatory things in our diet. So let's cut out carbs. Let's cut out sugar. And so we're just doing a lot of veg and meat. And as soon as I did that, I got real backed up, real bloated, and now I'm just gassy. The Tizzy says, by the way, Raven, buy my Pokemon cards or my class on talking like you don't mispronounce everything and how to use real words in conversation. Either one of those is appealing to me. I think I'm about 9 cards away from the entire original 150. And then I would like to get it framed and put somewhere in this studio. But admittedly, they've been collecting dust. I've not been paying much attention to them for some time now. I forget which ones I need. Kabutops, Aerodactyl, Articuno, maybe Omnistar, and a few other ones. I forget what the hell it is. I got all minus Charizard. I don't know how I'm ever going to get my hands on a Charizard. You won't catch me paying $1,000+ for a fucking Pokemon card. So don't know what I'm going to do then, because that seems to be the only way to do that. Also, I need a Flareon, holographic Flareon. This is cool, though. They're talking about St. Christopher, I almost said the blap-headed, the dog-headed saint, who many within the conspiracy biblical community speculate is a dog man.
You know, the one named after that dog-headed Christ bearer, St. Christopher. And St. Christopher Island, one of the lesser-known islands restricted for environmental preservation. Bullshit. Now pay attention.
I like this dude's bullshit.
There are ruins there that defy everything we're told about history. Not Polynesians, not South Americans, but something older. Locals told stories of giant dog-headed beings that once lived there.
What? For real? On an island named after St. Christopher? That's cool. Retard voiceover, nice. It is. Racist says, Raven, I know it's gay, but your horoscope says specifically you can eat anything you want. What do you mean? I mean, I eat mostly. There's something I can't eat. I was eating it and I was like, this fucking sucks. I had Gouda that wasn't smoked recently and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, this kind of sucks. And papaya's really disgusting. Papaya is really disgusting. You have 2 holographic Charizards, Brenna? Fuck, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, the Free the Rabbits podcast did some island podcasts. Oh, that's Joel. Joel of Free the Rabbits. Yeah, I believe he actually came on our show and talked about St. Christopher, the dog-headed saint, and how there was like this conventional explanation as to what the dog head symbolized. But Joel brought some stuff suggesting, like, what if it wasn't a symbol at all? What if Homeboy had a, fucking dog head, dude? Guava is top tier. Mangoes. Mangoes are crazy. Mangoes are so good. Mangoes are crazy. I don't know if I've had guava. No, but papaya is so gross, dude. It's disgusting. Christopher Columbus and St. Francis have mentions of St. Chris and dog-headed populations. Yeah, we talked about that on that show, too. Mr. Lex Guam says he's already fat. You're not supposed to encourage him to eat everything he wants. Honestly, I think that's actually part of Scott's plan is to keep me fat by ordering me sugary drinks constantly. And he's been doing that. I don't have any cards from when I was a kid, but I got back into collecting some Pokemon cards casually a couple years ago. Also just wrapped credits on Pokemon Violet. Yeah, I didn't. I'm not collecting any of the ones beyond the original 150 because the Neo Gen or whatever it's called was like pretty decent. I remember those guys because I had the silver game for Game Boy. But like that's around the time that my interest in the cards died out. And I really just wanted those 150 so I could frame them. My childhood was really chaotic and like I was always moving around and losing everything, and I don't have any mementos from my childhood at all. Like some people have toys they grew up with or pictures of themselves or like anything. I have nothing. I don't have, like, my mom didn't keep baby clothes, toys. There's no pictures, like one picture of me as a child. And so I think this is kind of my way of like reaching back in time and like having some control over my childhood. So I've been doing that with the original 150. But I got to the point where I'm like 9 away, and now I'm kind of like losing some gas. But yeah, all that stuff, like I don't have shit, dude. Nothing at all. Which is weird. Where have you been? It's Raven's Game Boy. Shout out to my Game Boy. I have a red version that's totally corrupted from catching Masingo. And, so I've been collecting them relatively in any condition that I can find them in. I prefer something, a little bit on the decent side. Not mint. Lightly played is nice. But I do have some that are like real fucked up. Super fucked up. Yeah, Pokemon on the Game Boy was fun when I was like 8. Yeah. Eat less hot dogs. I'm not going to take that advice. All right, let's continue this.
Only to be driven underground after some kind of catastrophe. Oh, and the stone on that island, it has the same interlocking design as places like Machu Picchu, Sacsayhuaman, and Pumapunku. We're talking laser precision cuts that modern tech still struggles to replicate.
On Galapagos? Dude, I had no idea. I just knew they had big fucking tortoises. I mean, they're super big tortoises, and they live like 200 years or something.
And yet, the mainstream wants us to believe some primitive culture with no written language did this with copper chisels? Bitch, please! This video is for entertainment and, what's that thing people say? Oh, right, and satire purpose only.
I love that. That was a great video, dude. Shout out to that retard. That was interesting. Very interesting. I had no idea, and I won't verify any of that, and I'll go around just saying like that's true. Yeah, I lost all my cards. Like I said, I basically lost everything because I moved around a lot. And I was like from one group of people to the next group of people to the next group of people. And like everything just got left behind. I remember when I was younger, my mom, she was like, hey, we're going to sleep. This is so fucked up. My mom was like, we're going to go sleep over my friend's house. And I was like, okay. I was like 6. And then I got in the car with this dude who I was like, I didn't know. And then he didn't have, like, there was no room for me to sleep in. So I just slept on the ground on a sheet. And then my mom like hung out with this dude. And then the next day when I woke up, it was just like I wasn't going home. And I never went back to that house again that I lived at with like my grandmas and shit. My grandma, my great grandma. We just moved away. And then like, so I lived in that place now. That's just where I live. We never went back. And then I started going to school there and shit. And I was like, guess I live with this fucking dude now. And then when I was like 12, so about 6 years later, I had to go on a flight. One thing led to another. It was convenient for me to go back to my grandma's house to stay there because she was close to the airport. So I went back to that house. And I walked into my bedroom, dude. And like, I hadn't been in my bedroom since I was 6 years old. And all over the place were like Street Sharks and Ninja Turtle action figures. Like, they never got rid of my stuff there. And I was just like standing over these like totems of my childhood, like holding my Street Sharks, being like, what the fuck? And like looking at my Spider-Man bed sheets, being like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it was so weird to be back in that place and to be holding those things. And I don't even remember what happened. I just never got my hands on them again, but it was weird. Oh, that sucks, dude. You lost all your shit in Katrina? That sucks ass. Yeah, dude. She never explained. She never explained. After like several months of living there, my mom was just like, you don't have to call him dad. And I was like, didn't plan to. Wasn't going to do that. And then eventually we left that place too. And then after we left that place, there was a short period of time where I lived some other place, and then I got kicked out. For being an asshole, basically. I got kicked out into the streets. Yeah, so didn't get to have any of that cool stuff. That, and it's probably unhealthy, right? What my baby mama hoe ass says, like a shrine to little Davy, which is kind of funny. But like now I'm holding these cards, and there's like weird sensations, like memories attached to each card. Like I'll see a card, and I'll have a glimmer of a moment of where I was when I held that card when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, 9, 10. So like that chunk of time, because they started making those cards in 96, and I was 6 years old, and I recognize them. They're like powerful. Like if I was a faggot, this could be a real obsession of mine just because I tend to get obsessed with things. And I'm not going to. Like I just have this dusty old stack of cards from 1996 now. But like, yeah, it's like a shrine to my childhood. It's weird. Very strange. Very strange. All right, let's see what else we got here. That was a cool video. I like that. I like that. I was always into the Galapagos Island when I was a kid. I was into like I said, the tortoises and stuff. And that's a fascinating, the idea of where a throne fell. I wonder what he means by that. But it was a place of giants and advanced megalithic structures that mirror the places you see in like Peru and things like that. I didn't know that was on there at all. I had no idea. All right, we're going to get into this, and then we'll take a little break, and we'll open the lines. And that'll be fun. You should do a battle to find out what a pain in the ass the game is and give them to your son. Dude, I never played. I never learned how to battle with the cards. I just collected them. I had no idea how to do that. So Galapagos was Atlantis. I don't really know what he was trying to say. But it was cool. Cool facts. I don't know what to make of it, what it all means. Maybe worth doing a bit of a deep dive into. There was a time where we were going to do a deep dive on the Hoover Dam because it seems there's a lot of weird. It ain't just a dam, baby. It's like this occult monument filled with all kinds of esoteric shit. and there's a whole back history to it that like seems to be steeped in spooky shit. Yo, I got a first edition pre-release of Aerodactyl, and I believe just a regular hollow Aerodactyl. Nice. That's awesome. Playing the actual Pokemon game will turn you. Watch out. Turn me gay or turn me into a Pokemon enthusiast, which is redundant. I just look at the new ones, dude, and I'm like, all this sucks. They look so stupid. Their names are so dumb. They all look so gay. Blastoise is the greatest Pokemon ever. All right, we're going to get into this real quick. What do we do here? Boop. And boop. And there we go. This actually comes from the homie, Isaac's Army at Return of Cappy. This guy's been on the show before. His name's Dave. He's a great guy. He does a show called, I think it's called We Have the Documents. I hope I'm not conflating him with somebody else. But Dave is great. And he's not that far from here. In fact, I'd like to invite him to Bohemian Grove, if nothing else, just to come and hang. There was a time where we thought we were actually going to do like a network with this dude, and then like things just didn't go that way. But I love this guy. So Return of Cappy, Isaac's Army. So Hollywood is Babylon minus the walls, just money, ass, and ancient debauchery rituals dressed up as a blockbuster movie. And this is fascinating. So this is about the award ceremonies and how much of the imagery from Babylon is embedded within these award ceremonies. I said, that's fucking cool. Oh, we have the receipts? I think it's we have the receipts. Yeah. We have the receipts. Raven's Endless Farts. Yep. I like a lot of Gen 1 and 5 and 6 because I actually played fully when they released. So like I said, really it's Gen 1. And then when they did like Neo or whatever it was, which is I guess was Gen 2, I was pretty into that because those were great Game Boy games. Silver and Gold were really excellent Game Boy games. And so now I have a Leaf Green that I pop in every once in a while. And I fucks around with it. And I have a red version, an original red version, but it's corrupted because I caught Masingo like a dumbass. I think I even did it as an adult, which is just like, what a fool. Like, I knew it. I knew it was going to do it. Interesting. Anywho, I didn't play Crystal. Heard good things. Didn't play Crystal. Heard good things. So let's check this out.
My brother Jay-Z, Team Rock, Adam Blackstone.
Jay-Z is such a hideous man. I mean, what an ugly goblin of a human being.
My brother Jay-Z, Team Rock, Adam Blackstone, Hell's Kitchen, the Most High.
What does all that mean, bitch? She said some crazy shit there. Right? I mean, I know where they're going with this, but like, look at the way she does that. That is a weird, the Most High. And then she throws up some fucking as above, so below fingers.
From Blackstone, Hell's Kitchen, the Most High.
Good evening, godless sodomites.
Kneel before your God, Babylon!
Making me the highest paid megalomaniacal boy king in all of Babylon!
You see, if you go and visit the very home of the Oscars, where they hold it each year, you can see a plaque on the wall that says the Babylonian Court.
The monumental archway and elephants above you are inspired by the film set from D.W. Griffith's historic 1916 film Intolerance, perhaps the most famous set ever built. Never heard of it. It became the first tourist attraction related to the movie business in Hollywood. During filming, over 1,000 extras were used, and horse-drawn chariots raced atop the battlements. Battlements? I don't know what a battlement is. The set remained standing for many years after filming was completed near the intersection of Sunset and Hollywood Boulevard. Damn. That's a huge undertaking for a shitty movie from 1916. 1916. 1918 is the Spanish flu. 1916, that's fucking old, dude.
The camera shows you the stage, and you see an unmistakable Tower of Babel
Oh, yeah, check
embedded
that out.
into the
They just Tower of Babel in the back as they're going up and grabbing their rewards.
design. Outside of the Kodak Theater, you have the gates to Ishtar.
The gates to Ishtar, the Babylonian and Sumerian goddess Ishtar. Right outside. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, you can see they got eagle-headed angel wing fallen angel with the little purse and the pine cone.
And you have Babylonian gods put on the outside of the gates. They have the exact elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same...
Dude, wait, that's crazy. Okay. So that, and you can see it here. Hold on, let's let them...
They have the exact...
So there it is in the film as well. Yeah, you can see it. I can see the same Sumerian gods at the top. And this is for a film. So in 1916, they decided to commit all of this labor and resources to creating something that still stands today. And I'm meant to believe that that was just a set piece and not some sort of, I mean, geez, man, when does Hollywood start? When does Hollywood start? It's like a retarded dude. Okay, so Hollywood can be seen in two phases. Its original town, so the town was founded in 1887 by Harvey Wilcox, and the film industry arrival in the early 1900s. By 1910, the first film was made entirely in Hollywood. The first studio opened in 1911. And by 1915, it was becoming the center of America's film industry due to factors like good weather and to escape Eastern patent restrictions. So by 1911, the first studio opens. 1910, the first film was made entirely in Hollywood. And by 1916, they erect the first altar, the Gate of Ishtar, in homage to the Sumerian gods, a.k.a. the fallen angels. Like, that's what I'm seeing. Yeah. So Conspiracy Cutie says, isn't Hollywood the type of... Yeah, so the Druids use wood from the holly tree to construct their wands. So they use wood from the holly tree to construct their wands, to cast spells, and Hollywood casts actors. And spells are a type of program, and when you watch something on TV, you're watching your... You know what I mean? It's all that shit. Yeah, broadcasting. Exactly. I mean, to me, this is like not so much a quirky, like, isn't that a wonderful piece of Hollywood history that they made this fucking thing? Meanwhile, like, we're making buildings that won't last like more than 2 decades before they need entire renovations and pieces of the outside replaced. But they managed to create something, and I'm sure that there is maintenance done, routine maintenance done to the outside of the gates of Ishtar, you know, after like weathering and stuff like that. But for it to still be standing, that is wild.
Elephants. They have the same exact gate of Ishtar. They have the same exact Babylonian gods over the top of the gates.
A lot of people come up here and they thank Jesus for this award. I want you to know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. He didn't help me a bit. So all I can say is, suck it, Jesus. This award is my God now.
Yeah, as she grips a fallen angel. This bitch. Hey, it's funny, too, because look what fruits that bears. What's his name? Kathy Griffin? Kathy Griffin looks like shit. She looks like a sack of shit. She looks so horrifying. When I was younger, I remember her being like a pretty lady. And it's not like, so like, remember Pam Anderson? And like Pam Anderson is going through this thing, I guess, lately where they're like, look at Pam Anderson going around without her makeup. And I go, like, she looks like a healthy older woman. She's still pretty in the way that, like, she's got great bone structure and such. I think she's still a very beautiful person. She aged well. And I think it's probably a healthy thing to, you know, stop covering your face in makeup and shit. But, like, Kathy Griffin aged like a fucking avocado. Like, she looks crazy. That's not, I mean, it's not a high bar, Q. You'd fuck. I get it. She covers her face in baby blood. Who's that, Pam Anderson? Maybe. Yeah, baby, it's the crone phase. Yeah, I've been seeing Pam out there looking, she looks great. She looks fantastic. Yeah, Kathy Griffin looks like shit.
I'm thankful to the Oscar gods.
The other names of the gentlemen are all gods as far as the category concerned.
When you get this little golden statue, you become a star.
Yeah. And you know, I think the Bible talks about stars being angels. Am I right about that, or am I fucking that all up? I could be fucking that all up here. Let's look into that, because that's an interesting thing, right? So, stars are angels, and I'll let this demonic AI do the rest of the context for me. The idea that stars are angels is a symbolic concept found in religious texts, particularly the Bible, not a scientific fact. Gay, shut up, Google. Nobody asked you if it was a scientific fact, you homo. So yeah, then you have these actors who, by the way, what do? They get possessed by spirits, right? Especially if you're thinking like of a method actor who's like openly telling you, like, if you listen to interviews with these high level method actors, they're telling you they're getting possessed. They're getting possessed. So they're getting possessed by these entities, right? And then they're represented by stars. And it's like, yeah, stars, angels, fallen stars. And then when you look at even the mountain, right? What's the mountain? It's Universal Studios intro. Is it Universal Studios intro where there's like a big mountain and there's all these stars falling out of the sky and then circling the mountain? And I heard somebody once say that that's all about the stars that fell, the angels that fell to Mount Hermon, the fallen angels that came down to Mount Hermon. And I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah, you're damn right it is. Paramount. Thank you, guys. Paramount. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, dude. Like, it's all right there. Everything about Hollywood and broadcasting and you know, programming and all this shit. The wands, the druids, the stars, the fallen angels, all of it. It's right in front of our stupid fucking faces, isn't it? It's kind of incredible. It's kind of incredible. What do you guys think? Chat, am I making a mountain out of a molehill here? Molehill? I just think that's fantastic. Right? It's like 1911, the first studio in Hollywood is made. 1910, the first film is produced fully in Hollywood. And then by 1916, the Gates of Ishtar. The Gates of Ishtar are erected, and they still stand today. From the jump, from its inception. And then I think after World War II, and we looked over to the Nazi regime, and we learned so much about the propaganda division there. And then there's that whole thing about, what's this guy's name? Who's the guy that created all the Marvel characters? The old dude, Stan Lee. He was in the military, but he was specifically in a propaganda division. Like, he wasn't in infantry or anything like that. He was in a propaganda division. And then what does he do? He comes straight out and he makes his pantheon of lowercase g gods. And one of them, Iron Man, is modeled after basically Jack Parsons. And then they went even further and made Iron Man's dad in the comics like straight up modeled after Jack Parsons. And Jack Parsons' real name was Marvell. There you go, Chuck. That was for you. It's all connected, man. Shit. It's fun. It's really fun. Look, we're going to take a little break here. I'm going to go get some water and we'll hop back in and maybe we'll do a little bit more content and we'll actually, I think we have some voice memos that we have to check in. Guys, if you want to call, you can leave a voice memo while I'm making peepees. 321-209-8551. You can leave a voice memo before we open the lines. We'll play some of those, and then we'll open the lines, and we'll take some calls, and we'll call it a night. And we're going to play the gay music. We're going to play the schizo music. It's going to happen. Let's get this shit off the screen, and let's bring this up where we at here. And we'll be back in about 3 minutes. I got this text from my wife earlier. My wife! And so they're home right now, my wife and my son, and they're watching Sandlot. Right? Everybody remembers Sandlot. And she texts me, she goes, Jackie saw Wendy Peppercorn and said, whoa. Wendy Peppercorn is the lifeguard. Anybody remember that? Here, let's give it a Google real quick. Wendy Peppercorn. There she is. Film character. No, I don't want bimbos dressing like Wendy Peppercorn. There, we'll open this in another tab. I think that's very funny. That's very funny. So we'll share this tab instead. So yeah, they're home watching Sandlot. Great movie. Killing me, Smalls. Yep. And so here we go. Let's add this one to the stage. There's Wendy Peppercorn. We're gonna behave. We don't know what we could say. Who knows? We don't know what age that gal was when she was doing that, but very pretty young lady. Classic Americana. You know, got the white rimmed glasses, blonde hair, red bathing suit, all legs, and the red bow. And my son said, "Whoa." Very funny. Yeah, he's got a lovely little girl right now following him around every time he goes outside. And she seems very nice. She's a little bit of a latch and key kid, which I got some respect for latch and key kids. You know, I think it builds character, but it also makes me wonder, like, what's going on with your parents? Why are you a latch and key kid? And you know, he's 10 years old. We have this this moment where I'm sitting at the table and my wife has made dinner. And, you know, we're setting the table and my son's come in from playing outside and he goes, he walks in and then this young girl walks in behind him. She's a couple years older than him. My son likes him old. So she comes in and she goes, you know, I go, "Nice to meet you." And I introduce myself and my wife introduces herself and she goes, "Wow, that smells really good." And then I believe she said, "Well, I wish I could have some." And what the hell do? You don't say no to a child, you know, this latch and key kid. We go, "No, yeah, of course you can have some. Have a seat." Here when we made her a plate. And then she told us all about it. Poor girl's got Coke glasses for eyeglasses. Nice kid. And my son comes home the other day and he goes, "I think she likes me." I go, "Yeah. She follows you everywhere like she's lost." Good kid. You know, it's kind of like in an age where kids don't go outside, I have a bit of reverence for a latch and key kid. Don't you guys think so? Like, it's hard enough to get these kids to go outside and play. But then you just have one that's just outside all the time. Anyway, she could be inside playing Roblox or some gay shit, getting groomed by Dan Schneider. But instead, she's outside. And they're playing ball in the grass, and they're climbing trees. And I look at that, and I go, fuck yeah, dude. That's great. So, yeah, pull up a seat. Have some. Have some dinner. I don't know. Latch key. Not latch and key, latch key kid. We'll make you a plate to go. No, she sat down. She had a meal with us, and yeah, Roblox is wild. You get on there, and there's nothing but a bunch of Dan Schneiders waiting to, you know, finger your bee. So that's no good. And my son doesn't get Roblox, and he doesn't understand really. You know what I mean? It's hard to get him to grasp. I don't want to tell him he's going to get raped. Roblox is for rape. I don't want to say that. So I just say, like, look, man, there's, like, dangerous people. They spend a lot of time trying to trick kids into, like, telling them where they live, stuff like that. And you can kind of, like, he's like, okay, well, I guess I get it. So I just don't let him play it at all. You know, we had a talk last night. I was cleaning my gun, and, you know, I could see it. He's like stars in his eyes. He's infatuated with it. Thinks it's really cool. And, like, yeah, I get it, man. It is cool. But, like, I have to explain to him. And we do a lot of talking about guns. And, you know, if I ever want you to touch my gun, you're going to know about it because I'm going to ask you to touch it. Don't ever touch my guns without me. I'm bringing him to the range soon. I told him that I'd do that with him. And I thought I was going to bring him to Suppress Fest when we went. But it ended up being much more of a work kind of a vibe, and you know, I wasn't gonna have time to chase him around. But, you know, so we have these conversations, and I'm trying to, it's just like on the topic of trying to send a thing to a kid's psyche, and you can see, like, they get it, but of course they don't completely get it, you know. Yeah, take him to the range, show him it's not a toy. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. 10 years old is more than old enough to go to the range with dad. So I think that's going to be the next father-son bonding thing that we do. Well, actually, no, the next one that we're going to do is, wait, what are you talking about here, Madeline? Guy literally showed up at night at his house. Who's that? Hold on, let me scroll up here. Did you see the video of the dude showing up at the kid's house? Yeah, that's right, to date his mom. Yeah, I saw that. What a nightmare. You never know what these goofy-ass kids are saying. That's why my kid doesn't play online games. No online games. We're not doing that. Nick G says, "What do you? The gun? I was just cleaning my. It's a 43X. It's a Glock. And not even because I've been taking it out shooting it recently. It's mostly because your everyday carry tends to get filled with just like clothing lint a lot. I guess it's just like rubbing against your shirt, rubbing against your pants, rubbing, and then it gets just filled with fuzz and lint everywhere. Supposedly to date his mom. What a nightmare. There you go. What my baby mama's hoe ass has his kid shooting around 5. You see how he sticks his chest out? Did I do that? I have an old 43, but I might trade it in. 43 is real small. 43X is actually bigger than the 43. What's the capacity on the 43? It's like something crazy, like 6 rounds or 8 rounds. I think the 43X is like 10 rounds, but the Shield MP sells these magazines. I got my hands on a few of them. They're like 15, which is nice. Somebody clipped that. The rubbing. All right, we're going to play a voice memo, and then we'll open up the lines. I think we got one voicemail. Let's see here. Guys, if you want to give the line a call, it's... hold on, I got to look at it. 6. It is 6, but you can get a 10-round mag. They're very small, very slim. 321-209-8551. Give us a call. Talk about stuff. Tell me about your Pokemon cards. 321-209-8551. If you want to call, cool. If not, I get it. That's fine, too. I stand behind my Beretta 9mm. I like Beretta. I also bought, not long ago, a Ruger LCR, I think. It just feels silly having a revolver because I'm like, I just have 5 rounds and then I have speed loaders. Hold on, sir. Let me get my speed loader out. I don't know. It feels dumb, but it's super light and comfy, and that's why I like it. All right, let's share this tab instead, and we'll play these. Oh, this is looks like a long one. Cool. Let's see what's going on here. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Raven, it's FJ Fool.
Raven, it's FJ Fool. Did you guys hear that from FJ Fool? You in the chat, FJ? You in the chat, FJ? I don't know if you guys heard it. I'm waiting for you guys to say something. All right. Sam says yes. Very nice. FJ here. Raven's pee-pee hands. What? Wait, what? Damn it, dude. I don't like when you guys use these names. All right. Let's get back to it.
I thought this might be of interest to NDS fans, particularly those interested in identifying occult concepts within
Sick.
Pop culture.
Oh, that's an interesting topic, FJ, considering we're talking about Hollywood being modern-day Babylon. FJ, how'd you know we were going to talk about this? Fed. I don't know which camera's on right now.
So I've been watching this show, Welcome to Derry, on HBO.
Dude, I tried to watch it after I watched something. I forget what it was, but afterwards I was like, oh, I'll watch Welcome to Derry because I'm a big fan of like it. It was a great movie, and I couldn't pay attention to it, but I just know that there's one part where like the Jewish kid is getting attacked by a lamp made of Jews, and that's pretty funny.
And for those who don't know, it's like a prequel series to Stephen King's It. And episode 4 just streamed a couple days ago, and it's already pretty obvious the show's writers, Andy and Barbara Machete and Jason Fuchs, are steeped in the occult.
Interesting. I wonder, does this show have any backing from Stephen King? Who's ready for the new Stranger Things? I would like to watch it, yes. I have never watched, says Xerox. Xerox, my brother in Christ, who believes in everything he sees on the internet just like me and has overcome the goon. Let's take a brief moment to W's in the chat for all the men out there who aren't gooning. W's in the chat here. I'll put a W in the chat. I'll put a W in the chat. W's in the chat for all the men who aren't gooning. W. Isn't that nice? That's great. No gooning. Wait, there's 2 Xeroxes? Oh, shit, dude. What's going on? We're not gooning, guys. We're not gooning. No matter how much the nasty posts or the scantily clad bimbos try to solicit you into spilling seed, we don't. We hold strong. It's not just about what's morally correct. It's also about holding on to our strength. When you goon, you lose power. You're not just going to spill your power all willy-nilly for whores, are you? Whores? No. You're not going to spill your power all willy-nilly for a set of sloppers, are you? Come on. Sloppers are everywhere. It's meaningless. Who cares? Hold on to your seed. Hold on to your strength. Never goon. Oh, that's right. We were listening to voice memos.
Well, without spoiling too much, the military is attempting to find and unearth what they call an entity, hoping they can use it as a weapon. One of their soldiers, whose backstory is kind of unknown at this moment, is being tapped for his shine abilities.
Yeah. So the shine is basically like some people have inherent psychic powers. That's interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Like already, the idea that the military is looking for attempting to unearth an entity, that's fascinating.
In order to locate it on tribal lands outside town. The local natives tell a story, a folklore story of this entity, which they have named the Galoo, being an ancient evil spirit that fell to the earth inside of a star.
Whoa! Yo, FJ! FJ sent this at 5:41 today and had no idea that we'd be talking about this shit. How crazy is that? Dude, that's awesome. This is what happens, dude. I'd be talking to God, and I'm like, God, send Holy Spirit to accompany me, to be my co-host on your show, in your studio, in your coffee shop / studio / casino. And then I swear he shows up and he does stuff like this. FJ, you didn't even know that. You didn't even know that. How cool is that? Shout out to Holy Spirit. Crushing.
Way back when, the natives buried 13 pieces of the star, which are basically obsidian shards, each inscribed with sigils, in a giant circle around the border of the entity's territory to trap it there and stop it from terrorizing their tribe. And then fast forward to the time in which the show is set, which is like the 60s or something, 50s maybe. Several kids in Derry have gone missing, as they always do, like every 27 years, after seeing the entity manifest as whatever their current fear might be.
That's interesting, too, because that really goes in line with, like, the phenomenon, right? It'll be whatever your fear is. That's interesting. I think I have to go back and watch this this show. Where the hell is this thing? I got to put it back on. My bad.
And other kids are trying to unravel the mystery of their missing friends. So they're performing seances under the instruction of their Cuban friend who learned a little bit of Santeria from his uncle. They're trying to summon this entity so they can photograph it. Then in another scene, there's a couple girls having a fairly innocuous conversation while in the background, the teacher is talking about a kind of parasite that hijacks the brain of its host.
Dude, that's just like the film Weapons. That's exactly how this shit goes. And that one keeps popping up. A parasite hijacking the brain of its host. And I've said it on previous episodes, and we talked about it with Donut. In the film Weapons, which is all about witchcraft and all this shit, there's this repetitive pointing to parasites. I feel like that's why he's got the inflection in his voice here, FJ, because he's heard this spiel before, but they were talking specifically about parasites controlling the brain of their host, and then later on, it was even more specific in the way of cordyceps mushrooms controlling the brain of insects.
Right? So it's all this stuff. And then during the opening credits, it's an animated sequence that kind of foreshadows events that haven't taken place in the show yet. And one notable image is that of a young girl in an insane asylum having her teeth tampered with by doctors.
Whoa! What? Dude! I'd like to say we here on Nephilim Death Squad have really, really tapped into the meat of the large conspiracy that acts as a backdrop to our, lesser false reality. And we live in this reality, and then like behind it is where all the the truth happens, and there's good and there's bad, and the bad is it looks a lot like this. Either that, or they just really want people like me to believe that. I think that's even a degree more complicated than just it being true. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's so crazy. I'm just checking in with the chat real quick before we finish this one. This show sounds like hell. It sounds interesting. It sounds like all the shit that we talk about. Isaac Weisip did a deep dive in 67 and in 67, and it ties to Santeria. And then somebody said, so did Tony Merkel. This is not a dig at Merkel, and Merkel will be the first person to tell you this. I would sooner listen to Isaac Weisip and his ideas on where these things come from. But although I did listen to Merkel's opinions on it too, and I think he was, it doesn't matter if there's anything more to it. If Isaac would have dug up more information on where the 6-7 meme comes from, I think Tony got to the heart of it and what he talked about is all that really matters anyway. If some of you normal people are out there like, what the fuck is a 6'7"? It's a stupid meme that like children are repeating. They don't know what it means. I'm not going to do it here on this show because it's gay and it comes from a Santeria enjoyer, a Santo or whatever. I don't know what you call them. But yeah, basically it was a meme that was popularized by a mumble rapper who openly practices Santeria and openly talks about sacrificing goats and chickens and shit like that to a bunch of different crap ass gods, putting curses on people. Like, he talks about it all. He's very open about it. He makes an album called Underworld. In it, there's like words from Umagu or some shit like that, and that's a butchering of the name, but Umagu, which I don't care to get it right, is basically one of these Santeria spirits that can give you what you want and curse your enemies and shit like that. So he does words from Umagu, where he basically talks, I think, from the point of view of it, and he's possessed in the song. And then he does another song where he says 6'7", and through a bunch of rather uninteresting events, it enters the cultural zeitgeist, goes viral, and now children are saying it all over elementary schools and middle schools, all over the world. But it's fascinating because it all starts with one homosexual mumble rapper and his Santeria demons. And as far as I'm concerned, even if Isaac Weishaupt has found more than that, that's really all that matters. Raven, did you hear about the NYC cat sacrifice done by the to promote his crappy music? No, I didn't. I wonder if it's the same guy. No Goon November. No goon ever again. We are not ejaculating unless it is in coitus. Married coitus. You fucking heathens. Cut that shit out. Don't do that. But we ain't ejaculating no mo. Never, goon. Never. If you look down and it's your hand that's doing it, that shit's gay. And now you gay. What you doing touching the dick, faggot? Oh, the other guy is from Kensington. That's right. Good call. Yeah, so they wouldn't be the same person. David Mosley is his name, says Anti-Speciesist. I bet you he goons. Bet you he's constantly touching dicks with his hands. Gay? Oh, yeah, that's right. We got to finish this voice memo.
So there's so much there. And there's a lot more I could mention, and probably even more I haven't caught on to yet. But already the overlap between what Welcome to Derry is showing and the themes discussed on NDS is so surprising. So I just thought I'd share in case anybody was interested.
Dude, thank you so much, FJ. That is super interesting. Super interesting. And how cool is that? Because, I mean, look, I got to just say, from my point of view, when these homosexual occultists put on display everything that we've been telling you is happening on this show, it really makes us look like maybe we're not just retards. Maybe we're not just retards. No, I mean, we are definitely just retards. Let's not get that twisted. But, I got to admit, that whole telepathy tapes thing, the Andrija Puharich research, and dental implants, all this stuff, it's even crazier, too, because one of the details literally just happened before we listened to FJ's voicemail, which was talking about the fallen stars, and stars being angels, and et cetera, et cetera. So really nailed that one. But all that information and that research, regarding the telepathy tapes and that shit, that just came to us. Like, I hit up Top one day, and I was like, dude, I got a weird feeling, and we should research the telepathy tapes. And in hindsight, I think it was the Holy Spirit being like, because we're not smart enough. I'm not smart enough. God was nudging me. Like, look at this. And then, like, the Puharaj thing, it wasn't even like we were pursuing it. It was like his name kept getting brought up across different episodes. And we're like, wait. Are you saying that guy's name again? Isn't that who was just brought up on, like, the last episode? And then we start looking into this guy, and then it just connects to the telepathy tapes, and it all happened at the same time. It's very strange. Very strange. So, like, if not married, we're celibate. I mean, yeah, dude. Look, it's not all about pussy. All right? When Ed Mabry said that sex is marriage, it hurt me. It hurt me because I knew that I had been chasing some shit that was like spiritually bankrupting me as a teenager. And now it means nothing that I was with those women. It means nothing. And where I am now, I'm like, would I have liked to have just been with my wife? My wife. Instead of having this like history of, you know, other women, like, yeah, dude, that would be like worth its weight in gold. So yeah, I think it is. It's like, you know, science is like, oh, women retain a certain amount of DNA from the partners that they've had in the past. I think we do. When you have a sexual encounter with somebody, it's not just DNA. There's like a spiritual connection, and you're leaving little like spirit chunks around. Spirit chunks, not like you don't wipe them up with a towel, like they stay there. And like, what good is that? I don't want them, the women that I've known, to have any spirit chunks of mine. I want to give all my spirit chunks to my wife. So like, yeah, if you're not married, you're celibate. Quit fucking around. This is a Christian show. No, see, you don't want a spirit civilization. It's a very important subject, Top. We're talking about spreading your spirit around. Know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Will these episodes be in audio format? They are. Tomorrow, episode 6 airs. And then this one, episode 7, will air at some point. Soon. A couple days or so. I had to repent a lot for my teenage and 20 years. Yeah. It's not cool. All right, I'm going to open up the lines, and in the meantime, we'll keep talking about, don't say, what's that? I've chunked too much. Too many chunks. Too many chunks all spread around. We'll open up the lines. If you call, that's cool. If you don't call, that's cool too. We'll just talk about spreading our seed all willy-nilly, and we shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, that's the lines are open. 321-209-8551. Don't tell me about your spirit chunking. I don't want to hear about that. Okay, we got a phone call. It's coming in. Hold on a second.
551.
Thank you for calling the Raven. You got to turn me off in the background because I can hear me. Are you blapping or guamming?
Oh man, I'm currently blapping, but I'll be guamming soon.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. What's your name? Where are you from?
Andrew. I'm from Texas.
All right. Did you lie to me? I felt distinctly like it was a lie. Andrew from Texas. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. I've been following you guys basically since Luke Rudkowski's appearance, or rather, y'all's appearance on Luke Rudkowski's show. So
wow, that's over a year. I think over a year and a half ago now. That's awesome.
God's lies, man. Yeah, no, I've been watching all his progression. It's been pretty amazing, man. It's been I've been talking about like Nephilim shit with my buddies for like, man, since really a long time, I should say. And it's nice to see it get some proper, everybody's talking about a bunch of gay shit, all the time, and it's nice to, with a biblical lens, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like Luke Rudkowski, and I really probably should talk to that guy one of these days. He was, and I guess probably still is, like, pretty good on conspiracy. Not so much on the spiritual side of things, but like, there were a couple of times where I've talked to him or I listened to him talk on a subject, and I was like, this guy does know his shit. But I think he gets really bogged down in the gay politics of it all.
Yeah, it's a trap. I mean, it's kind of like the reason why I'm calling, but there's so many layers that it's easy to get lost in the weeds and lose sight of the basically, pulling all the layers back. And, like the dude has, I'm sure you've seen it where he confronted that dude that went to Bohemian Grove, and, he's calling these dudes out, these powerful people, and he's aware of the implications. He's a smart dude, but yeah, he does focus on, the gay stuff too much.
You know what I think it is? I think it's like when you have hope that you can change, like you look around, you see the things, and you think like, I can change it if I could just make people politically aware of this. Like we can change it through this system. I think my question is, because I don't believe that that's the case, and if my premise is correct, then at what point do you go, well, this is a zero-sum game, and I should maybe come at this from a different angle? But then again, that angle's working for him, right? He's become successful off that, or something like success.
Well, he does have to pay the bills. Yeah, not to say that he's like a shill or sold out or anything, but I mean, you do have to throw some red meat, I guess. I don't know. I can only speculate, but yeah, it's he's an interesting dude. Apparently, I don't watch him so much anymore, but he has shed some insight into his kind of, I hate to say spiritual journey, that sounds kind of gay, but he does profess to know Jesus and trust him and stuff. So I don't know to the depths of, he didn't want to, I think whatever he was that I was watching him on, he did express a little bit of that, and that gave me hope,
That's cool. I can see the chat right now, or at least before, they were mentioning Sam Tripoli. And Sam Tripoli is another one of those guys I talked about in the last episode. Like, he believes, and so everybody goes, well, why does he do X, Y, and Z? I'm like, everybody's journey's different, man. And it takes time. You know, I'm sure there's ways that I still suck. And I also said that I think people that are the biggest threat to that negative side of the spiritual realm have the hardest time, because there's a lot of things that get, geared towards slowing you down any way possible. So who knows? Maybe he's somebody that will get to that place eventually. I'd love to see it. I hope so.
Well, let's put it this way, man. Why would the devil need to attack somebody who's not doing anything fruitful? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, unless you're under attack, you got to question why, what your real main goal is, what your priorities are.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I don't really, we were talking about Blair White the other day on this show, and it was like whether or not Blair White is a Christian. And I'm like, dude, I hope so. That's all I can say. I hope so. I hope that it takes him to a place where he's like, I think I'm going to get these boobs removed. You know what I mean? And that's a funny sentence, but I'm also not like, I'm not even really shitting on Blair White. Like, dude, I hope so. Hope you figure it out. I don't know how long your journey's going to take, but I hope you get there.
Yeah, I've heard tons of testimony of like, homosexuals who, they tell these stories. Like one of the 501c3s I used to attend, they'd tell their story, how they would go to and then sit in the front and be all flamboyant and just flaunt it, kind of like, obviously disingenuous and just trying to get a rise on people and say, well, eventually God, moved in their hearts and told them like, hey, why are you even here? Like, are you seeking me or not? And, eventually moved through to showing them the truth, how, you know, homosexuality is actually a decision. You know, you're not gay until you put the dick in your mouth. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
like,
then the question
people,
too is like, if you do that, can you be ungay? I'm like, I was talking about that with my wife today, because of this whole Blair White thing, and I was like, well, the problem that people don't want to address is like, if you can, then that means that it was demons and that you were never actually gay.
Well, here's the trick. We battle in this world with words, and here's how the enemy already gets a foothold. They say, can a person be? Can a person not be? Well, we're not defined. And let me take a step back. We, as individuals created by God in His image, are not defined by what we do.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You know, just let that set in. It's a lot of these people like to play these games like, I'm this, I'm that. And if your identity is wrapped up in what you do, like, you're delusional. You know what I mean? It's like, this is how murderers can turn in prison and you know, find Christ and I hate to say Christ, Jesus Christ.
Well,
so many people say Christ and they're like, oh, the Christ conscious.
That's a huge point, though. Like, I see Q in the chat. He says gays are an abomination, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, you know, you get to a point where you have to question, like, are you just measuring sin against other sin? And like, certainly there are degrees of sin, right? I mean, if you know, Ed Mabry has that whole thing on his channel, is masturbation a sin? And he's like, it depends on, you know, so if you're envisioning somebody that's not your wife when you're masturbating, like, yeah, then that's sin. That's adultery. Right. But that's not as bad as, you know, abortion, which is the murder of a baby. So, but if a murderer can be redeemed, and I don't think there's limits on redemption, then yeah, you can come all the way back from, I don't know, having a mussy, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see that as, it just becomes this game of like measuring sin. Like, is it any? It's more mockable. Well, I'll give you that. To be,
that's when you get into measuring the sin, that falls into the territory of how Catholics get their people wrapped up in this, like what is and isn't a sin. And like Mayberry said, man, you know what the Bible says, this what is a sin for some person might not be a sin for other. You know what I mean? Like if you're struggling, I know you mentioned in the past that you struggle with sweets. Maybe it could be considered a sin for you to indulge in sweets, but for another person it wouldn't. You know what I mean? This is a personal journey we're on. You know what I mean? And the language we use, I think you guys have touched upon this multiple times, but you know the language we use is important, and I think it's time we separate from letting the world decide what words we use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a hard thing. I've even gotten caught up in that before, where it's like, if you ask me what I am, would I have gone, I'm a welder? And if you ask me what I am now, it's like, am I a podcaster? You know, like, I don't know what the hell I am. That's a weird thing. It's a loaded thing. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a welder. I'm a human being, but I'm that doesn't quite do it either. It's a weird thing. So yeah, I mean, I see somebody saying that murderers can still have babies, but gay people can't have babies, and that's an interesting thing to say, because it's like, yeah, they can. I know, like Milo Yiannopoulos could go and bang some chick right now and have a baby, and there are people that will argue with you all day that Milo's not straight, that he's still gay, and that you can't be ungay. So it's like the whole thing is very blurry. I think it's all degrees of demons.
Yeah.
That's really that's what I think is going on here. It's all degrees of demons.
You pushed me back to something I forgot that I was trying to make this point. And this is the point of, like, man, the devil works to hide the truth. This is the truth, is that our battle is not against flesh and blood. It's against the dark forces and principalities of the hidden, world. That's something that I never hear, like some of the most ardent Christian, quote unquote, people who are out there like condemning behavior. It's like, man, it falls back to that like we keep letting people define what reality is, but we we find reality in what the truth is. You know, we should, you know, in the Word of God and what the Scriptures say, and or else you fall into those things of like, can this person do this or do that or whatever? It's like, man, our battle isn't even like most of these people. You mentioned it earlier, like that book you brought up, the Cody thing, decoding Cody, dude. Like, I'm excited. I was excited. I actually read the book already and I passed it to a family friend. And dude, it's exciting because it's giving a glimpse into the unseen world. I think that people, I think it's just the time, you know. I think it's the time.
Yeah, I don't. It's all it's confusing, and I'm learning to like tap the brakes a little bit because I think the same way, like even with the whole Israel thing, you know, it's like, oh, you know, you're not supposed to curse Israel. And then we talked to Ed Mabry, and he like kind of defines like what do we mean by cursing and what do we mean by blessing? And it's like, so what
do we mean by Israel?
What do we mean by Israel? That's a good question too. But it's like there's nothing wrong with condemning the behavior when the behavior is shit. But like to curse Israel is
Jesus was one of the biggest condemners.
Exactly. So it's like, you know, you can't say something crazy like, I hope they never find Christ and they burn in hell, and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, you know, you got to say, like, you guys are assholes. I hope you figure out that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life, and you stop this behavior, you know, and things turn around for you. So yeah. I feel the same way. It's like when I see somebody who's gay, or when I see Blair White, I go like, dude, you can't. You're not a woman. You know you're not a woman. You say you're not a woman. You got these titties. That's weird, dude. You got these titties. That's strange. I really hope like you figure it out. I hope you are genuine. I hope God works on your heart, and over time, you know, you do what you feel like you need to do to be right with God. Like I hope that. So I think it's like it's what, you know, you got to have both those things. It's like, yeah, condemn that behavior, but then you really can't. What would you call it? Like revel in shitting on people. Like you got to have hope that they're going to figure it out. There's a difference, right? There's a fine line where it could be like, you could be like, yo, this is, it makes me feel good when I say this person is a disgusting animal and I wish all these horrible things on them. It's like, no, dude, you should hope that they figure it out. And you should hope that God works on their heart and they, you know, don't have to walk around the way they are anymore. But yeah, it's complicated. That's why, like I said, I'm just trying to pump the brakes and figure out what the right thing to do is.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, it's like that, the reality, just, you know, realize that we are just like the Bible said. I mentioned that our battle isn't against flesh and blood. You know, once you let that really sink in, you can start to treat people with a lot more grace. It's not easy. I'm not definitely not perfect, although I know what I should be striving for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know it takes a lot of time, but I called to recommend one creator who has given a wealth of information, and it's almost like every topic y'all covered, or basically there's one topic y'all haven't covered, and this creator does a really good job of like, she does like a college level lecture style but her name's probably Alexandra.
Probably Alexandra?
You've heard of her? Yeah. She's got her whole catalog on BitChute, but she's migrated to Rumble. But there's one specific, she does a bunch of different stuff. And like, just from the topics you were talking about earlier, she did a whole series on deprogramming and how the media programs, going back into like some crazy, you know, probably cartoons you grew up watching, you know. This is it's crazy. The depth she has, man. It's almost like a, you know, autistic level research. But
that's where you
there's
get
one
the
I wanted to put you exactly, and she has a little bit of her own, you know, like body afflictions, which I think she gave her a lot of time to look into. You can check out her testimony. She's got a video on her testimony. But yeah, if you look on her Rumble page, she's got one. It's called An Inconvenient History: How a Cult societies shaped our world. And when I say like she covers everything, I'm talking about like big picture, outer layer, starting with like Kabbalistic tree of life, branching out into, you know, all sorts of Mason families and all this. Like it isn't just shaped our world like America. It's talking about like since, you know, recorded history kind of.
That's interesting. Probably Alexandra on Rumble.
Yeah, I recommend that one. I think a lot of her like deprogramming series is on BitChute. But I just migrated to
But I'll look out because we've been so caught up with like the studio and building the studio that like we haven't been booking guests and looking for people like we used to. There's only so much that you could do, and so that actually comes at a good time because we're looking to have some fresh faces on the show. Probably Alexandra. I'll check her out, man.
Dude, yeah, the occult societies. It's I'm telling you, you guys have like gone all around the topic, but it's just like it pulls back to another layer and views it from like a panoramic, you know, third person thing. It's good, man. It's really good. I recommend it, but I don't want to take up too much more of your time, man. But I just wanted to shout that out and give a shout out to you guys.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling. Thanks for the information. I'll definitely look into her. Who knows? You might see her on the show sooner than you'd imagine. Thanks a lot for calling, brother.
Yeah, man. You have a good night, dude.
You too.
Good talking with you.
Later. All right, we're going to close this real quick because we have a voice memo that came in, and I don't want anybody to call while we're doing that. So let's listen to this.
Yo. So I'm pondering a concept that all these kitty beehole touchers.
I just love I love how he gets into it. Yo. So about these pedos.
In Congress are going to be outed post Christian dispensational harpazo time.
What the shit does that mean? Christian dispensational harpazo time. Man, whoever this is thinks I am smarter than I am. Let's use context clues. Are going to be outed post Christian dispensational. So after whatever that is. All right, well, let's get more context.
And then it's going to be like Star Wars Senate thing where the Empire seizes all control because the Senate is corrupted. You dig?
I love that. I love that that's the whole voice memo. I don't know what that means. Let me go to the chat and have somebody explain this for me. Dude is barely coherent. No, I think he was fucking you dig? I like him. Does anybody know what? It's something that I should know what a Christian dispensationalist is, but I also don't know what a harpaggio is. I don't know what that is. Yes, Raven, skip my voice AI. That wasn't you. I know what you sound like. Skip your voicemails. You did voicemail? Hold on, wait. Zach, Chuck, Emily, Raymond, John, Matt. I don't see any subliminal messenger in here. Somebody said, "Hey Raven," but the transcribe said, "Gay Raven." No, I don't have any after interest. Hold on. If you're a 323 number, oh, it's a 3 minute. It's got no transcribe. Okay. That's weird why it says no transcription available. And there's no words, but it's 3 minutes.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Raven. Hey,
This is totally you. Okay, all right. I don't know why there's no transcription available. Hold on. Before we get into it, let me just make sure that anybody asked me or anybody answered what that is. What was it? A Christian dispensational harpaggio? And somebody please help me. All right, it's fucking fine. BRB, I have to go berate Doc Brown. Doc Brown is live. Tell him I said hi. You know who I am. I'm surrounded, and the gaslighting is like a clanging cymbal. Get Sabrina Wallace up in here. I don't know who Sabrina Wallace is. A lot of recommendations for women. Doing a lot of listening to women talk. Jeez, man. I don't know. I don't know about that. Oh, he's on Gray Pill. That's awesome. Tell the boys I said what's up. We're going to wrap this up relatively soon because we're passing the 2-hour mark here. So let's listen to this voice memo.
Subliminal Messenger out here in California. Just wanted to give everybody on the show a happy racist good morning to everybody.
Happy racist good morning to you. Why doesn't this thing transcribe? You're totally understandable. Your accent's not that thick. I don't understand why this thing couldn't detect any of your language.
I wanted to call in about Wayward. First of all, fantastic show. I love seeing you back on the air. I wanted to talk about Wayward very quickly.
All right, I'm very excited about this. This is I think we just talked about that in the previous episode, right? Yeah.
It's weird that the villain was the only person to call out the cop for being a transgender post-op.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That was the only time I was like, fucking call out that Transter, that Transformer, that Decepticon. And it was the villain that did it. Everybody else kept calling her him.
The whole thing is like a remake of The Wicker Man.
Oh, that's a Nicolas Cage movie. I've not seen that. I hear good things about it, though.
With frogs. And if you look into, like, oh, is this based on a real story? There's a really big misdirect where it talks about, like, a boarding school with children, with teens that go missing. That's a big misdirect because what really is going on is a Canadian MK Ultra Institute that came out in, let's see, here we go, like 1960s, 1974. MK Ultra performed in Canada where they did LSD and MK Ultra experiments. That's what's really going on.
That's interesting. So the whole thing is like it's a kind of a juke because it makes you feel like it's about these institutions where they take like the Catch Me Outside girl went to one of them. That's interesting. Although we did talk to Kate, anti-speciesist, who's in the chat, but I don't think Kate confirmed some of the details of this thing, but she didn't talk about the LSD usage, which was like a huge element in this show, Wayward. Kate, they didn't have you guys do drugs, right? Let me know. I see you in the chat there. Because I remember you said they did have you guys tantric hug. Which is alarming.
In the film. And where very interestingly crosses into the Tibetan Buddhism stuff that you've been talking about on the show. The ceremonies that they experience on the show, I suspect, are ripped out of the Bardo Soto, the Timuri Book of the Dead.
So these ceremonies being like, if you watch Wayward, I wonder which ceremonies he's talking about here. Let's
Tibetan, like Buddhist, like LSD experience that he put out. And with that, which is, I think, the book, this manual that they're reading throughout the series. I don't want to ruin it if you haven't finished it, but they're reading this manual throughout the series. And
yeah, I did finish it. I finished Wayward. Hold on, I want to check in with Kate real quick. She said something fucking crazy. So she said they drugged some girls, but not me. Mostly downers. And the doctor molested us all too. 70-year-old creeper. Fucking wow. That's a whole lot, Kate. 70-year-old creeper. So that means he's dead and we can't kill him. In Minecraft, we wouldn't do that. We're not that type of community. But if he was on Minecraft and I was on Minecraft, maybe I'd wear him like a skin suit. All right, let's get back to this.
And during it, it starts like a ceremony. You can tell they're performing a ceremony. Well, if you look into the Book of the Dead, Tim Leary book, it talks about like archetypes and certain levels like pre-creation that you could kind of match up to and like kind of link to an archetype before you ascend down to earth. So I suspect that's what they're recreating on the show. And that's going to later, maybe you can have your guest back on to explain what he means by the difference between the state of being and the state of becoming, or the state of being something and the state of non-being. That's one.
Well, Subliminal Messenger, I don't know if you realize, but that guest was a little ill-received. Not that I wouldn't be interested in talking to him again. I just don't know if he'd be interested in coming back on the show. By the way, Subliminal, you should flesh this out and come back on the show.
One of the big things that gets confused with Buddhism that I think is worth looking into, and the Eightfold Path. So if you can get him back on the show, he should explain some of that stuff. Not as a, how do you put it, a competition to Christianity, but like as just a way of life that maybe you could use, I don't know, aside from Christianity. I don't necessarily think they conflict with each other, but it is a circular path. It is not a straight line to heaven. Anyway, have a great day, dude. And yeah.
Thank you, dude. You have a great day. That was interesting. Honestly, I'm thinking, Subliminal, you do such great research. Maybe you should come on and talk about Wayward with us and this whole concept of how it applies to these things. That would be interesting because I don't know, a lot of people weren't really super pumped with. Return episode Rat and Subby. Yeah, I would like that. I would like to have Eamon Rat and Subliminal Messenger back on. 100%. There's also somebody else that we wanted to have back on. Oh, do you guys remember that crazy Italian guy who from the Phone Booth podcast? Him and my buddy Ted. I'd like to have them back on. That'd be fun. Yeah, Subliminal Messenger. Figure it out, man. If you want to talk about, or we could talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Don't do a whole research for us. If you've got something you want to talk about, the green book they read from. Yeah. Not nice guy. Yes, this faggot is still going. I'm about to wrap it up though. I am tired. And what time is it? 9:11. 9:11. This is why I said no to Tower Gang so many times. They'd be like, come on, Tower Gang. This is right at the time that I get tired. I get very tired here. We should be going live any minute. I don't know what you're talking about, but maybe I should wrap it up then if somebody else is about to go live. Trump is releasing all the files. Is he? Dismissive wanking gesture. Raven doesn't check the Calendly. I mean, I can check the Calendly. What do you know about my Calendly, Xerox? Did you guys see that these dudes aren't doing a show together anymore? Jonathan and Jacob. Oh, nice. We got Austin Wade Picard coming on this Friday. And we got Ben coming on the 25th, which will be good. Oh, and Gonzo of Face Like the Sun is going to be coming on. Jamie Henshaw Dyer will be on. Perry and Brandon of what the hell's that show? Hidden in Plain Sight. Wait. Oh, wait, I don't know who the fuck Ben Baumgarten is. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, that's exactly who I thought it was. So who the hell is this? Oh, Broadcasting Seeds is going to be back on. Disagree to Agree. December 18th. Why you got so far off? Aren't y'all doing Ninjas Are Butterflies? No. They don't fuck with us. That's not true. I don't know if they fuck with us. Yeah, Cult of Conspiracy broke up. I wonder why. Those guys crushed. And, well, I guess they're still doing their thing. They're just doing their separate thing. So it's Cult of Conspiracy, and then it's Meta Mysteries. Cult announced today, yeah. Could have swore I heard that. No. I like those guys. The Ninjas or Butterflies guys. But I tried to reach out to them once. Sam Tripoli put me in touch with them or gave me their contact information. And they didn't respond. But I get it. Honestly, there's a lot of folks that I'm supposed to respond to and I don't respond to because I'm an idiot. And you just get so busy with stuff. And those guys probably are busier than we are. They have like a whole team of people that they're working with, employees, all types of shit. So who knows? All right. We're gonna wrap up the show now, guys. Oh wait, I could look at some of these donations before we wrap up. I'm gonna say thank you to people. Boop, guys. If you want to donate, at the bottom here, David Corbo 7 on PayPal, Venmo, and $ David Corbo 7 on Cash App. Gonzo is a good one. Yeah, that's it. I'm a huge Canary Cry fanboy. Yeah, Canary Cry is coming on. The whole gang, I believe. So that's cool. Did Jamie get with Jay Dyer? Jamie is his wife. They are wives, married. What am I looking at? Oh, look at my Cash App. All right. Hold on. We got some action here. Thank you very much to Valkyrie for the $5 donation. Says, looking fresh, great show. Thank you. I'm feeling a little puffy. I've been eating really good. I think I talked about at the top of the show. Really good. Working out 5 days a week. And my gut feels like it's filled with gas. I know you didn't ask for that. You just gave me $5 and said a nice thing, and I told you that I'm feeling gassy. Shout out to JCM for the $15 donation. For thanks. Just says thanks. Thank you. You sent money, damn it. Thank you to Q for the $2 donation. Says, you're not gay no more. Thank you very much. I have been delivered. And thank you for Zach from MI, which I assume is Michigan. Not messing with you, Starseed. Oh, for the $7.77 donation. Thank you. That's a very Starseed number. All right, and we'll check some of these other apps. Let's check Venmo. Let's see what's blapping on Venmo. Is this Atma? Atma says, can't hang tonight, but I'll catch it tomorrow. Looks like a good one. Thank you, brother, and thank you for the $3.33 donation. Yeah, I mean, these things stay up on all the platforms, but they don't air on whatever till later. Who paid me? Somebody paid me for coffee? Somebody gave me coffee money. Thank you, Michael, for the coffee money 2 days ago. You guys are silly geese. Bunch of silly geese. Let's check PayPal, and then I'll check Rumble, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here. Okay? Uh-oh. Hold on. Looks like we got Rumble money. I mean, not Rumble money. What is this? PayPal money. Thank you to Kate Antispecies for the $3.33 donation. It says, much love, Raven Reed, how not to diet. She can tell that I'm looking puffy. She could tell I'm looking puffy. Who said that? 7-Eleven Lucas says nose piercings are gay. Noted. You're not wrong, 7-Eleven. Kate sent another $2 for The Scene is Wayward. The scene in Wayward where the kids shame each other and then do that weird sexual hug circle was exactly like the WASP program I went to for 16 months. They did rituals like that all the time and constant manipulation and terrorizing of the kids to break us down mentally. I know this isn't right, but every story that I get from you Kate moves you further up the favorite person line. And I know I shouldn't like a person based on them being in an MK Ultra program, but I don't fucking care. I'm going to keep doing it. Thank you, Kate. All right, I think that's that. We got to check Rumble real quick. Drink a probiotic every day. You're not my dad, Chuck. Stop it. I don't like probiotics. They're gross. You know what I really don't like is the prebiotic sodas that people be drinking. That's fucking gross, and you guys are silly. Don't do that. All right. No Rumble rants, and I don't think we have any things on. All right, so we're all good. Thank you. Oh, we'll do some quick math. It's not a whole lot, so we can do that. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 7, that's 13, that's 14. Oh, shit, what'd I do here? Wait a second. Okay, 1, 5, 6. That's 11, 18, 20, 26, 27, 27, 37, $37. That's nice. Thank you. All right. All right, I'm getting ready to go. There heard some motherfucking noises in this empty coffee shop. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for donating. There's another Cash App, motherfucker. I made you a shirt. It's in your Gmail and XDM. I saw it. It's my grandma. Thank you, Q. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. I don't think we have anybody booked, but we're probably going to do Neph to America or Chronicles. So look forward to that. That's going to be cool. Don't shoot the cleaning lady. Okay, now the AC just kicked out. I'm getting all freaked out and shit. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Keep blapping, keep guamming, and until next time, love you. Bye-bye. No, I did it the wrong way. Love you. Bye-bye.